All right, Rob, over to you.
Here we go. Here we go. So welcome to the final Telraam Talks Hangout of 2023, a year many of us will be happy to see the back of, although it's been reasonably good to us. So I have to say, we launched our thing this year, it's been pretty good, but generally speaking, as a whole, 2023 could probably disappear and be largely forgotten. Sorry for the police light show on the side there. I'm sure it showed up in my Telraam statistics. So we've got a little bit of a summary of some recent activity for people. I know that a couple others have asked us to record this and share it because they weren't able to come. So it's always nice to hear. If you have watched it again afterwards, leave us a comment and tell us what you made of the presentation. Hopefully it all makes sense. Yeah, so let's start off with Merry Christmas. This is my AI attempts to create art with AI prompts. So this is Santa with a black cat looking out of his window with an abacus. I thought it turned out all right, actually. That was quite nice there. So I think maybe next time we can use it for a Christmas card or something.
Well, the fingers looks nice, so I mean that's also what they struggle with, but the fingers look pretty
It's
good.
not so bad. The other cats had like 3 ears, so it looked like he had a horn or something. This cat's all right. Actually, one cat had 5 legs, so yeah, it was also a bit dodgy. But anyway, I think it turned out all right. We can use that one. So as usual, we'll go through this really quickly. If you have any comments, questions, I mean, to be honest, it's a small group. You're more than welcome to ask questions during the presentation. Be aware that your face will pop up on the video if you do that. Otherwise, pop them in the chat and we'll answer it, or we'll have a chit chat at the end as usual. Just 3 quick things today. A little bit of news on our outdoor prototype or our outdoor device. A little bit of an update of what we got up to a couple of weeks ago at an event called Polis, and some little bit of good news of things, the news spreading around the world. So quickly, maybe Kris, you want to do this one?
Yeah, I'll jump in here. Yeah. All right. So we secured a bit of funding for some development for a dedicated outdoor Telraam device. So to go a bit beyond the known DIY trials which some users have done. So we went back with our designer who designed the original S2 to design one which is outdoor. It was, I mean, we didn't have a lot of time and not a lot of money, so it's not in the same standard yet, but it's a trial for us. So the key criteria for us were to be power independent. So that means that it can be powered with a battery solar panel combination, and of course that we can use it outside. Here's as me on the right trying to install this thing on the rain pipe from Wouter's place. Actually, you can see the size. I mean, it's fairly small. So on the picture below, you have Bezot, who's a colleague at TML, who's just showcasing the case with the Telraam device inside. It just started. We had just had a small trial with a few devices in Braga, which is in Portugal. That's because we had the funds from Europe for a European project and already some clear lessons. So we already know hardware is hard, but hardware outdoor is harder. So there's much more challenges which we're facing. I already had feedback that one device is vandalized. So I don't know the details, but one just got broken off by some vandals. But the more interesting news is that we probably need to work still on the battery solar combination. So in principle, the device just uses 1 watt, which is very low. We're using a 25-watt solar panel, but it's not enough to keep it going on dark and rainy winter days. So probably need to change something there. But other than that, I think it works. We made a bit of changes, so there's a LED now, so you can see if it's on or off. There's a small PCB which manages the power. We're looking into next steps to see if we can scale up a bit, increase the trial. There's another project in Flanders for measuring bikes on a dedicated bicycle lane where there's no houses, so the classic Telraam doesn't work there. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's something that has been in the back of our heads for a long time, and we've seen many people making their own DIY outdoor version. One more amateurish and the other more sophisticated. And we thought, okay, maybe we can offer it as a solution from our side directly. Then people don't have to well, yeah, DIY themselves, or you're not forced to do it. I know some people like it, and I think it's really cool that people are doing it, but some people just want something which off the shelf which knows that works. So yeah, there's 3 cases that we know of, Rob, from people who've made
Yeah,
their own S2.
the 3 that have actually sent it to me have photos. So these ones, the top left is in the US, the middle one is in New Zealand, and the one up the tree is in Germany. And I think you can see they're fairly similar. I think they're all powered as opposed to solar panels. I think the one in New Zealand was meant to have a solar panel, so maybe the panel just isn't visible. But yeah, so they've at least not they're not dealing with that complication which we're trying to solve. But yeah, I mean, in principle, there's no reason it doesn't work. It's just a case of getting it outside. But I think that the lesson here for everyone in terms of the message is that we're still at the prototyping and testing stage. This isn't going to be sold or marketable quite yet. We're looking sometime into 2024 before this will be available for anyone to sort of order and buy. But just to show you that it is being worked on. So yeah, we're getting there. There's some out there, and you know, they are actually counting. Just to follow that up, then, well, one of the reasons it was put up in Leuven was there was a big conference in Leuven this November called Polis. I don't know if, I mean, Kjeld, you might have heard of it. I don't know, Dave, if you've heard of this, but it's a fairly well-respected grouping. It's a sort of grouping of cities around Europe who get together in a different location every year and share best practice, particularly focusing on innovation around mobility. And so it's a lot of industry, it's a lot of science, but it's also the political aspect who get together, talk about the technology, but also the implementation and the sort of communication aspect. Huge number of sessions. I think there were 900 or over 900 people in Leuven this year. So it's quite a proud achievement for Leuven to host it. And so we made sure we were on that list of people to welcome people to our the home of Telraam. And for that occasion, we got these special shirts made. Hence, I'm sitting here in my shirt with a nice cat, little tail on thing.
We should add it to the web shop, Rob.
Let's keep it exclusive for now. Maybe later.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
If there's enough demand for it, we can put it in the shop. So again, leave us a comment if you're desperate. We'll and your shirt size so we can know what to order. But yeah, I think that was really good. I think one of the things I wanted to bring out of it as well was we've used this before. It was my first sort of real proper experience. How do you communicate Telraam and our job at an event like this? And Kris and the team came up with this fantastic thing, which is you'll see there in the middle of that bottom photo, which is called the diorama. I'll zoom in a little bit. It's a tool you put on our table, and it's a little perspex window, a little street scene, and toy cars. But because the toy cars and vans actually look like cars and vans, it works with the AI. And so you can you run these little cars back and forth across this street, even the bike and even a pedestrian, little tick, 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 tipping with a little piece of wire across the screen, and it counts it. So it's a fantastic thing because A, it demonstrates it, and B, it's a lot more fun than, your standard business to business exhibition tool, conference tools or stand interactive things. Yeah.
Basically, it was just an excuse for us to make a bit of a toy. Come
on. I mean, if you're standing around without doing very much and you're just running a car between either end of the table between each other, you've got something to do and chat about. Yep. That's what Kris and I were talking about in that photo.
So if you happen to come to a conference where we are there, we will have our diorama there. You can come and play.
Exactly.
We'll be at where will we be? Intertraffic probably next year
Mhm.
again. Velocity, definitely in Ghent, and there will be some other conferences we're also going. So yeah, anyway, yeah, good fun.
Yeah, so it's been fun. So it's nice to sort of bring a little bit of the fun and the sort of personality of Telraam to these events. And as I say, I think we had probably one of the busiest stands at the show, which was really quite nice. With our partners, of course, with TML and Mobile 21. And so, last little thing, just a little wrap up because it's quite fun. We keep an eye on some of these things. Um, um, we've got over 2,100 devices active at the moment. It probably should be a bit higher. There's just a few not connecting in some parts of the world. So we're well over 2,200 actually out there. And what's quite nice is the number of countries this is growing to, which didn't exist before. We'd obviously counted a few with the We Count with the original V1 in places like Ireland and UK and others. But some of these are new countries. So I think, Kjeld, you've got quite a few now into Denmark. We're seeing them pop up in Norway. There's quite a few in sort of Central Europe with Slovakia, Czechia, Romania, actually Slovenia and places like that. But the ones I'm quite keen on is, well, obviously we told you about USA. There's some Canadian ones as well, which should be interesting with the snow this year. But we've got our first devices into New Zealand. So we've got 3 devices active in New Zealand at the moment. I'm working on Australia. Hopefully it will come online soon. We got our first device. You can see it in the photo there down in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And it was offline when I took this screen capture, but we've got one in Shanghai in China as well. So
Yeah,
the slow rollout.
yeah, I investigated that one. So I think it's a project developer who's using it to monitor, I mean, construction works or something. It's a weird location, and the counts were a bit weird as well. So I have no idea how they
Yeah, it was
found
like
this and who they are, but it was good fun.
70% trucks or something.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But yeah,
Yeah.
China.
Hey, the device is there. What it counts is up to the user, but the slowly spreading around. So we need to get one on the continent of Africa somewhere. So if you're watching this and you're in Africa, please get in touch. We need to get some devices out there. We got most other continents now, but we're missing out of the African continent. So we did have some chats in South Africa, but it hasn't come to anything yet. So hopefully, maybe that'll be the first one. Anyway, yeah, we'll see where next in 2024, maybe in our next meeting. And that basically is a wrap up for the moment. No other major news from us, but we're happy to answer any questions or comments or anything like that. If it's comments on these questions, we'll record it. And if it's general chit chat, we'll stop the recording and we'll do the usual thing of catching up socially in a bit. But thank you all for joining us again this year. Some of you several times over. I hope to see you again in 2024 and wishing you all the best for the end of the year.